channel, we have a makeup look in December. It's actually, I think, the first one that I've uploaded this month. Is it? No, I've done one already this month, but it is another festive full glam, whether it's Christmas, New Year, whatever you're celebrating this festive season. I've got the perfect sparkly full glam glowy bronzed look for you. Even when you're this pale, you can still get away with the glow and with the bronze. You just have to go a little light-handed, a little more light-handed, you have to pick your products. You have to make sure you pick your products right. But I had so much fun sitting down and filming this. I haven't actually sat and filmed a proper makeup look like this in a long time, and I think, as I said, I've just filmed my outro clip. It's weird, I film everything in weird orders, but I don't think I've properly sat and filmed more than 3 videos, I think, like as sit down makeup videos since I've moved into this house. Obviously there's been moving vlogs, there's been home buying stuff, there's been Christmas stuff, there's been shop with me's, but I think I have only sat and filmed 3 makeup looks, and I will admit I did start filming this and take it off because it's been so long since I sat and did a video and I didn't like the way it was looking. I didn't like the way the eyeshadows were looking, I didn't like the way it was coming across on camera, but I am so happy with this look. There is a little dilemma halfway through the video that I do want you to help me with. It's nothing makeup wise, well, it is makeup related, but nothing video makeup wise, but yeah, if you want to know how I created this, you want to hear me waffle, as I always do, it's probably going to be a 40-minute video or something, then do keep watching. Okay, so I have already primed my skin. I've used 2 primers. You don't have to, but I just want 2 different things from my primers. So to start, I used the MUA Pro Base with tea tree oil, don't know why that was hard to get out, which is good for like spot prone, blemish prone skin. It's also oil based, so it's good for hydrating. I used that all over my skin, completely all over, face, neck, everything, and then just around my nose and here, so like partially my T-zone, I used the Collection Primed and Ready Mattifier and Pore Priming Primer. No, pore minimising. I will get my words out, sorry. And the reason I use that is because I get quite an oily nose, and because of that I do have quite pronounced pores on my nose and just around here, and a little bit on my chin, so I just like to use something to make them appear smaller. They're not, but they just fill them in and make them look a little bit better. And the palette that I'm going to be using today, or palettes should I say, I'm using both of the Soph ones. And I say both because I'm kind of going to be dipping into both, obviously, but I'm not 100% sure what shades I'm going to be needing out of both, so I've picked them both out. Now I'm going to be doing a gorgeous glowy bronzy look, as you saw at the beginning, and we want eyes to match that. So I'm gonna go, the reason I really want the original Soph is because it has got some better lighter transitions, so it just makes blending everything a bit better. And then this one has got some gorgeous sort of chocolatey warm tones. Sorry my phone's going mad, but I'm having a problem at the minute with a Christmas present. It says it's been delivered and I've signed for it, but it's not here, so I'm sorry, but I am just waiting on a phone call to find out what they've done with that parcel. So to start with, I'm going to go with the Extra Spice palette, and I'm going to use a flat but densely packed brush, and I'm going to go in with Brownie. No, I'm not, because I haven't primed my lids. I'm going to go off camera and just prime my lids with the e.l.f. 16-hour Camo Concealer in Fair Warm. Okay, so prime my lids, all done. I know it's fair for my skin, but I like to use it. It makes the colours pop a bit more. So I've gone in with Brownie from the Extra Spice palette. Now I'm just looking, and I think I'm going to go quite warm to blend this out to start with anyway. So I'm going to mix Chocolate Orange, which is this gorgeous sort of orangey brown tone, with Cheesecake here. So I'm just going to mix those on a Jessup 228 brush, which is a Luxe crease brush, and I'm gonna start to buff that in. And then to blend out that line towards the brow bone, I'm gonna go into the original Soph palette, and I'm gonna pick up these two shades here, mainly this one, which I believe is Cup of Tea. But don't quote me on that one because I did get rid of my plastic sheet. I'm just going to check my emails because I'm really hoping that's the delivery company. Okay, so while I was off camera, I just used this shade, like I say, I think it's called Cup of Tea, just to blend that out. And as you can see, it's just completely sort of blended everything. Made it all look nice and sort of faded, no harsh lines. So let's do the same to this eye, and then we can move on to brows and we can get this face looking somewhat full glam. Okay, so for brows, I'm going to use two products. I've got my PS Brow Pencil in Cool Brown by Primark. It's just a standard pencil. I'm going to use that to fill in my brows. As you can see, this one is a lot less fuller than this one. And then I'm going to use my Lottie London Arch Rival Brow Pencil, which is very nearly out, in dark brown. Oh, dark. It's classed as, which is barely there, but it is a super fine pencil, just to add some more hair-like strokes so that it doesn't look like too false. So I'm just going to give my brows a little brush. My brows are actually ready to be tinted and everything, so I am going to be using a tinted brow gel, because this gap here, it is thinner, but the brows are actually blonde as well, so it looks like I've got a bald patch in my brow, which I have slightly, but it's more because the hairs are a completely different colour and it just stands out so much. So I'm just going to sketch this, creating a nice, I want to go for a soft brow but a fluffy brow at the same time, so keeping, especially because they are ready to be HD'd and everything, keeping them sort of as close to the shape, not filling them in too much because that will just look too false. Because like I said, I'm using dark brow pencils and I've got blonde hairs in my brows. And then I'm just going to use this, I'm just going to fluff them back into place again. Because obviously when you use a standard pencil you do have to press on just a little bit harder, because obviously it has to get through the hairs. and it can move them a little bit. And then I'm going to use the tiny bit I've got left just to flick through these to create some more hair-like strokes, make it look a little more natural. Okay, so I am going to add a tinted brow gel, but I'm going to wait until I've powdered and everything, because then that will take the powdery look away. So let's move on to the face. Ooh, now before we take it onto the face, let's take it festive. And the one thing that you only have to add to make it festive, glitter. And this is the Glam Crystals in Funk, which is like the antique gold. It's not like a yellow gold, but it's more like a bronzy gold, but not bronze either. And the way that I like to apply this, I take the brush, and I don't apply it with the brush because it is an actual, this is technically an eyeliner, but I never use them as eyeliners, I just use them as full glitter. And I'm gonna tap that all over my eye. Okay, so for foundation, I am going with my trusty Full Glam, full cover, favourite drugstore foundation, and it is, try to beat it up without dropping it, Maybelline Superstay. I'm going to mix the shades True Ivory and Ivory, just because the tones aren't quite right. Like, Ivory is too pale for me, as you can see, and now it's under my nail, but long nail problems, but no, Ivory is not quite the right tone, so I do just mix two. As you will notice, I do mix two products quite often, but this, if I need my foundation to last me for hours on end, I go for this, especially if I'm wanting drugstore foundation. If I was going a little bit more expensive, I might pick something else, but for drugstore I go with my Maybelline Superstay, and then I just bounce it all out and mix it together with a Real Technique sponge. Foundation base is done. As you can see, that is still a nice sort of luminous finish. It's more of like a satin matte than a true matte, with having that oil primer underneath, which is very comfortable on the skin. And for concealer next, Elf. I think it's, I can't remember how much this is, it's so cheap, and I have had this for so long, and because it's a little too light, I literally use the smallest amount, so it has lasted me ages. And I am just gonna highlight a little more than I would on a daily basis, because we are going full glam. So I'm going to leave my under eyes until last, just because I just want to give that a little time to set down. Gives it a nice bright finish under the eyes. Okay, so under eyes are blended out. I know for some people this will seem quite bright, but once we've got the under eye shadow done, the contour, the bronze, everything powdered down, it will look okay. Trust the process. And then next I'm going to go in with my Revolution Matte Face Concealer Stick, which is this one, and this is in the shade C10. And I'm just going to sculpt out under my jaw, my cheekbone, around my temples. And then as well, I'm just going to take my hair out of the way and just use this to contour my jawline as well. And then a little bit on the sides of the nose. I don't really do a lot of cream contour on the nose. I'd rather control that with powder. And then I'm going to use, oh no, I've already got it out? No, I don't think so. And then I am going to use a dual fibre finishing brush. It's classed as. So it's the one with shorter, it's like a stippling brush, one with the shorter bristles and one with the longer ones. I'm going to start with my jaw. So I'm going to do it as a line, but like with like swirly motions. And just drag that down the neck a little bit. You don't want to bring the shadow up because it will make your face shape look not right. The only bit I do is just around my jaw, just to give my jaw a slightly more pinched look. And I do find this, sorry, that looks awful. I didn't realise it's from putting it on my dressing table all the time. It just blends out so quickly and easily, this one, and it's £3 from Revolution. You really can't go wrong at that price. And then the cheekbones are the one that you don't want to go wrong on. You can correct it if you go wrong, so don't worry if like it's your first time practicing like cream contouring, but you want to blend up, because if you blend down you'll bring the cheekbone further down. You want some nice high cheekbones, but obviously we need to blend that out, and then you need to blend it back to the hairline as well. Okay, so to set this face I am going to use a loose powder. Now I've got two Drugstore favourites, which are the Real Match Perfection, but I am pretty much out. And then I have got the Lottie London Ready Set Go, which is just the white translucent, true translucent it's classed as, and this is transparent. I think it only does come in this one colour, and because I've literally got nothing left of this one, we're going to go with the Lottie London. I do sort of alternate them, I like them both just the same, so I'm going to just tap some into here. This is very finely milled, and some people don't like it because it's technically a HD powder, but I love it. And now if I just come, you can just see, if I do that, I've creased, which I do. I've got creases under my eyes, so before we set with powder, before we bake, I'm gonna tap out all of those creases, because once they're set they're not coming out. So that is something that I always do, especially like I know there is some concealers that crease more on me, so I do definitely make sure that I do that step before I powder when I'm wearing those concealers. And then I'm taking another sponge. This is the Revolution hard sponge, which isn't available anymore, but I love it for the shape and the angle of it. And I just stretch my face and go completely along the lash line and under to set the whole of my under eye. Then I'm going to tap a little bit into the lid, so into this lid, I'm going to take a nice big powder brush, brush off what I've just flicked all on me, and I'm going to stamp this all over where I've two bronze. I'm going to use my collection bronze glow in, which one is it, Terracotta, which is shade 1 apparently. And I'm using my big, it's technically a blush brush from Real Techniques, but I like this for my bronzer. It diffuses it nicely. And I'm just gonna warm up my face. And then to lightly contour, and I mean lightly because this powder is dark and it's pigmented. I am going to go in with the MUA Bronzed little compact in 120 Solaire, which as you can see is dark compared to me naturally. And I'm going to use this brush, which is an Olivia Hale from Home Bargains, and it is classed as a contour brush, and I love it for contouring. It's not too densely packed, but it's small enough that it just fits here, but it's not too densely packed that you go like that and you end up with a line on your cheek. So I'm just going to dip in a couple of times and tap off, and then I'm going to keep this to the back portion and my temple. When I say the back portion of my cheekbone, not bringing it as far forward as I did my bronzer. To really pinch that and lift that. As you can see, it's just deepened up everything compared to this side and just brought it in. I'm going to put my hands here, you can't really tell, but looking at me straight on, this side looks darker and it isn't any darker. I'm going to go with this sculpt brush. Don't know what the name of it is, but it's quite a big fluffy brush, and I'm gonna, and I mean tiny amounts, mix a tiny amount of the bronzed and a tiny amount of the bronzer that I used on this brush, and just guide my brush down the sides of my nose very lightly, because nose contours, they're either hit or miss pretty much. So I'm just gonna remember to bring it up to your brow as well. Because you wanna keep that shadow looking as natural as possible, and obviously you do get a natural shadow here from the brow bone. And the thing that you want to do, you want to keep it as high up on the bridge as possible, because that brings that bit in, makes the nose look smaller if you're wanting to make your nose look smaller. If you don't, just go with the natural contours, but if you do want to make your nose look a little bit smaller, go along higher up on the bridge, and it just like that. Yeah, so that is literally what I'm going to do with my nose. It's just tied everything together. And to finish this part of my face, I'm going to go with the MUA blush in Papaya Whip, which I love this tone in summer because it's a lot more natural, a lot more sun-kissed, which we are going for a bronzed, glowy look. So we want a nice peach-toned blusher. So I've just zoomed you in because we are going to do the under eyes now, and we're going to keep it pretty simple and pretty close to what we've done on top. So I'm going to take the extra size palette to start with, and the brush that I used to pack it on, so a flat dense brush, and I'm just gonna stamp that along and make sure you can see. Just stamp it right along the lash line. We are doing a smoky eye after all, so I'm going to bring it all the way in. The one thing I did do while I was off camera was created a little black liner. Didn't create a wing because I'm not going for that look today, but I just used the Revolution Renaissance flick liner, just because I find this easiest when applying lashes, and it wouldn't be a full glam look without some lashes. It just gives me a better guideline. So if you do struggle to apply lashes, just try that. Try creating literally a thin black line, no wing, and that is how I attach my lashes, because it gives me something to aim for. Next, I'm going to use the 223 Jessup brush, a petite blender brush, and I'm going to use those colours chocolate orange and cheesecake, and I'm going to buff this out. So like I said, pretty much exactly what I did on the upper eyelid. I haven't got 4 pairs of eyes, or 4 eyes, you know what I mean. And just to finish it, I'm going to take the same brush that I used with this shade, but like I say, I think it's Cup of Tea, and I'm just going to take the same shade and just really blow it out, because that is the look that I want. What are you all doing for Christmas and New Year? Do you get full glam and full beat? Christmas, it's going to be a little bit different for me this year. We've always got up, like open presents and everything, and then always got ready because we've had people come in. We've been going to like my parents' house, so I've always got up, done not full glam, but I've done some glam. This year it's just me and Chris, and I'm not sure where to go with my makeup. I'm not even sure if to wear makeup on Christmas Day. I know some people go full, like I say, go full glam. Some people stay in their pyjamas all day. What do you do? What would you do if you were staying at home and no one else, you was going to see no one else all day? By the way, this is just the Primark tinted brow gel in Cool Brown, which is the one that matched the brow pencil we used earlier, or the colour anyway. But yeah, what do you do? What would you do? Because I really don't know what to do. I'm feeling a little bit confused as what to do. And then New Year's Eve especially, full glam. Full glam, even if it's just a house party, it's full glam because it is New Year. I'm just using the Primark Lash Contour mascara. I like quite a light mascara when I'm putting falsies on, because all it is to blacken up the lashes again, especially if you are going with a black set of lashes, which most lashes are, and it gets rid of any eyeshadow, or covers up any eyeshadow that's been dropped on the lashes. And New Year's Day, we're lucky if I'm dressed on New Year's Day. I would stay in my pyjamas if I could all day. But yeah, what do you do? Let me know down in the comments. So, lashes. I'm going to go with the Eylure Luxe Faux Mink ones in Filagree, which I did just have to Google that these were still available, because every time I try to look for a pair, because I do like these, I didn't like them at first, but I do like these. Yeah, every time I look for a new pair now to replace them, I can never seem to find them, but they are available online. They are a little more expensive than sort of standard, the standard Eylure ones or standard drugstore ones. They are about £9 to £10. I was going to use my Primark Soph either Dubai or Miami lashes, but you've seen me use those so many times, and I wanted to show you another pair of my favourites. And these are quite spiky fluffy, so they are a little different, and especially with us going with a more rounded eye look, I thought I would go with something that's not as winged out, or not winged out at all, should I say. And I just used the Duo glue to stick them down, which it is the green one. It just says brush on adhesive with vitamins. Look how gorgeous they are and how easy they went on as well. It's just completely changed and added a depth to it, but you can also still see the glitter, so definitely festive. Let's put this lash on. I'm just going to use the same mascara on my bottom lashes just to darken them up a bit. Then we'll do some highlighter and lips, and I'm all done. So, it's actually been a minute since I filmed. I've been looking for my sharpener. Can't find it. I swear I haven't unpacked properly or something, because I don't know where some of my stuff is. But lip colour is going to be a little slightly different to what I was originally going to do, but let's highlight, because her face is not done without a highlight, and I'm going to use my trusty Revolution Ultra Pro Glow. That was close. I nearly dropped it. Or should I say, I did drop it, and I did sort of make my hand a little bit shimmery, but apart from that, do not want to break this. I love this palette, as you can tell by like the amount of dints and things like that that are in the palette, and the amount that I've hit pan on. So I'm going to start with the inner corners. I'm going to go with this yellow one, which is nice and brightening, right on the inner corner. Look how much that just changes and brightens up the eye. And I'm going to use the same brush and the same colour just on my brow bone. I'm going to grab a mirror though. It's the only thing about this palette, there's no mirror. Oh, this shade here with this shade here, so this one and the yellow gold one, I'm going to put that to the high points of my cheekbones. And the one thing that I am going to do, which I don't do very often, is I'm going to take my bronzer brush that I used again, and I'm going to go straight in to the darkest highlighter shade and very lightly go over where I bronzed, just to give me a glow, because like I said, we are doing a nice bronze glowy look. And because I'm using a big brush, one, it won't be too harsh, and two, it'll just help blend that highlight colour, so the highlight that we put on the cheekbones. It just ties everything together. And as you can see, just adding highlight in those couple of places has just brought focus to the bits of the face that we want, to the centre of the face. So, like I said, I cannot find my pencil sharpener. I need to go out and buy a new one, I think. I had two, and I've looked in other places that I thought it would be, and it's not. So I'm going to go with, I know it's not technically Drugstore, but I'll tell you the one that I wanted to use. I wanted to use my Primark Nude in the Buff, but this is what it currently looks like. There's no getting any colour off that. So instead I'm going to use Avon True Lip Liner in Simply Spice, and I'm just gonna follow the natural shape of my lip, and then I'm just gonna add it to the outer parts, just so that this centre bit is left. This one creates like a pouty look. It makes the centre of your lips look fuller, and two, draws the attention to the centre of the face again. Now I'm going to show you two swatches. This first one is Jamie Genevieve and MAC, and the one next to it, it is slightly more peach toned, slightly warmer, but that is Primark Luster Lip in the shade Barely There. And the main reason that I've brought the lip liner in is because we are going to blend them to make them look very similar to this. So I'm going to take this and stamp to the middle of my lip. Smudge. If you feel you need to, you can go back in with the lip liner to bring it all, like blend it a little better, but my favourite weapon is my ring finger. And that has just brought it closer to that tone. So that is the lip done if you want to leave it matte. If you want to leave it like I'm going to do, or take it to what I'm going to do and add a little shimmer just to make that centre really pop, I am going to use the Revolution Lip Topper in this gorgeous colour, which is exquisite. It was their 2018 Christmas special, and I'm just going to tap this again on the sort of high points of my lip. smudge, and then again use my finger just to blend it out, and it stops it looking so much like a gloss and more like a lip highlight. So as you can see, as I'm talking, you can see like the glitters catching the light, and it just draws your attention to that and gives you the appearance of a fuller lip. So yeah, let's wipe the fingers off. This is the finished look. I hope you did like this video. It was only going to be a full glam video, ready in time for Christmas and New Year, but I did give you a couple of little tips in there, just to take it to the next level. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up if you did, and hit subscribe because there's still plenty of Christmas to come. It is only the middle of December and we've still got another 10 days until Christmas. Well, 11 days when this video goes up. Yeah, 11 days. Is it going up on Friday or Saturday? Either 10 or 11 days until Christmas, so there's still plenty. I will have everything linked in my Christmas 29 playlist, so if you want to see everything Christmassy, you want some ideas, that is there, as well as what I'm getting up to in December. I am doing my version of Vlogmas, which is I'm still filming every day, but I'm just uploading once a week. It's just easier having a full-time job doing it that way. But I hope you enjoyed this video. It's been ages since I have sat and filmed a sit-down, proper glam makeup look. I think I've only filmed 1 or 2 since I've been in this house, which has been so strange. But yeah, hope you like it, hope you love the glam. Like I said, let me know what you're doing for Christmas Day, because I am confused. Do I do this much? Do I go a little bit? Or do I go none at all? Let me know. Bye!